When you get them in the gang, then they kind of look at each other like, I'm not sure if I want to say anything, right?
Yeah.
And individually, they're there. They know. I remember talking to one police, or rather a warden of a prison in Ohio, and I asked him, said, how many prisons in the United States are drug-free?
Uh-huh.
Right? And he thought, he was quiet, he crossed his arms, thought a little bit more, and said, none, but sometimes mine is. Sometimes mine is. Yeah, so,
that's a good point.
Yeah, and so if we can't keep our drugs out of jails, what are we doing?
Yeah, right.
Make this a medical problem and not a crime problem, and I think we'll be able to deal with this much more effectively.
Right.
Personally, I would use marijuana as a stepping stone and learn what works, what doesn't work, how to best implement drug law reform. I don't condone or support drug abuse, right? But what we're doing is not working and is actually counterproductive.
And people can find out more about this or contact you at www.leap.cc.
Leap.cc. I think CC stands for Concerned Citizens. So it doesn't need to be just a law enforcement. You can become a friend of law enforcement. You can become a friend of LEAP and help us in many different ways. So leap.cc.
All right, Robert. Thank you so much for being with us today in San Francisco and for helping the police deal with a very crucial issue.
Thank you. Now,
that not only was this drug effective as an analgesic, I knew that it was stopping my vomiting. That's why I was using it at that time. But not only that, it was an analgesic, it was an anti-inflammatory, it dilates respiratory passages and helped me with my asthma, and it has tumor inhibiting properties. Next slide. Okay, this is an example of how our government is deliberately attempting to hold the truth back from us. This clearly, I went to a gastroenterology conference. This data has been seized and is no longer available. It was seized by the drug company that funded it, but it shows that a cancer patient who is undergoing Hep C treatment, a Hep C patient undergoing Hep C treatment who uses marijuana has twice the survival rate. That means if you look to one of every patient next to you, one will die and the other won't. Next slide, that's good. Now, I thought in 150 years we were no longer at this place. I had thought that the horrendous, God, I'm sorry, I just got thrown off a little, but anyway, the abuse of patients, the abuse of people, the abuse of human rights, I thought that was over. Now in this case, the only difference was the people who were being abused were identifiable. They had a different color skin. Well, in this case, we're not identifiable like that, but the abuse is still going on. And in 150 years, nothing has been taught. Next slide. Okay, so I said about, there's something wrong with that slide, thank you. I said about making what I considered an unforgeable note. Now this was 97 and Todd McArea was the only prominent doctor doing it at that moment. And the only objection that I saw with Dr. McArea's note was that the FBI had easily copied it. So I went to 6 points of ways to identify this note to assist the policeman in not being fooled by a counterfeit note. This is a notarized signature that identifies me as a doctor for a court. There is the signature of the person whose note it is that identifies them to the policeman on their driver's license. Their fingerprint is there, so it can be run through their computer. And I had a gold seal with a personal embossment with my medical name, and it had watermarked paper. 7 different points of identification to avoid any possible counterfeit or confusion. Again, in my naivete, I believed they wanted the law.
We so happy we alive, we together can survive. Stop the bullshit, stop the lies, and now's the time to legalize. Tell me brother, tell me true, what the hell we gonna do? Remember the days we saw purple haze. 1 and 1 is 3. Hey, hey, baby, what you do to me? We so happy, we alive, we together can survive. Mother Nature, heaven sent, don't belong to government. Hey there sister, what's the plan? Do you really understand? Remember the days we saw purple haze. 1 and 1 is 3. Hey, hey, baby, what you do to me? We so happy, we alive, we together can survive. Stop the bullshit, stop the lies, now's the time to legalize. Half the world up in smoke, where on earth can we take the toll? Remember the days we saw purple haze. 1 and 1 is 3. Hey, hey, baby, what you do to me? Human nature full and free modifies reality. Open up, inner flower, peace and love, inner power. Open up, inner flower, peace and love, inner power. Remember the days we saw purple haze. 1 and 1 is 3. Hey, hey, baby, what you do to me?